want to see that additional midfielder have a little bit of license to get up in and around the forwards and provide that extra bit of support to whether it's Aubameyang, Willian and Pepe in this case. And Joe Willock was picked. Joe Willock, who's performed in the Europa League but hasn't had a look in the Premier League, to be quite frank. And I think that's been a shame. I think that's been a shame because, you know, he has earned it based on what he's done in the Europa League. But I've always had doubts around whether Joe Willock is actually good enough. And I think today we saw those doubts come to fruition because he didn't perform. I didn't think anyway. I thought he was energetic. I thought he got into the right areas at times, but he wasn't anywhere near the top of his game, Joe Willock. And I still have doubts about whether he is somebody who can actually make that step up into first team football regularly. He's ready, he's good enough to play in the Arsenal starting 11 week in, week out. I still don't think he is. I still don't know that he is. And therefore you can understand, I guess, why Mikel has been reluctant at times to just throw Joe Willock into the side, despite what the fans have been saying and despite the performances that he has turned in the cup competitions, in the Europa League most notably. You know, it's not being good enough. Bear with me 1 second while I just tighten this screw and hopefully it can improve the picture for you. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments section about today's performance. Get your questions in. We're going to come to all of those before we wrap up tonight's stream. There we are, that should do it. Let's get back to it. Yeah, going back to Joe Willock. Don't think he's been good enough on the day. But again, I'm not pointing the fingers at one individual because I thought the whole team weren't good enough. But Joe Willock, for me, he gets into those positions. He's got the energy, he's got the enthusiasm, but does he have the technical ability? Does he have the footballing brain? Maybe not. I'll tell you who doesn't have a footballing brain, based on tonight. Based on today, I should say. Nicolas Pepe. So we've discussed that. Let's move on. As you can see, I'm quite upset tonight. I am, because I feel like Arsenal missed an opportunity here to show that actually they do want to play for Arteta, that they do believe in what he's doing, and you know, to kind of put the criticism that's come of late to one side for now and see, you know, the fans get back on side, because the fans are starting to lose it. A lot of Arsenal fans are starting to lose it with Mikel Arteta and his methods and some of the players that he insists on playing week in, week out. I thought that in the first half, Leeds had a lot of joy in the wide areas in particular. Well, they had joy in the wide areas throughout, actually. But it was a clear tactic of Leeds United's to use, in particular, Harrison on the left-hand side to get to that byline. He was causing a bit of an overload with Alioski out there. They were getting into those wide areas and they were pulling balls back to the edge of the box. And you saw when Leeds were doing that, maybe why Mikel Arteta hasn't necessarily wanted to play this system throughout the season, because what constantly happened was you would see the defence obviously have to go all the way back to defend the cross, and then you'd have to see Xhaka and Ceballos get back and, you know, close those spaces on the edge of the penalty area, which is obviously their duty as midfielders. But the fact that we were getting caught high up the pitch and that we didn't have the athleticism necessarily of Thomas Partey or of Mohamed El Neni, I think you saw Arsenal look a little bit sluggish in that department, and Leeds were, you know, Leeds identified that. Leeds would have looked at that before the game. Knowing Marcelo Bielsa, he would have had a plan. He would have sussed out Arsenal's weaknesses by having Xhaka and Ceballos in that midfield. The athleticism is maybe lacking a little bit, and they took advantage of that, and they created countless opportunities. And they had 24 attempts at goal. How they didn't score, I don't know. They hit the woodwork 3 times at least. Meanwhile, we forced one save from Ilham Melia in the second half. One save from that Bukayo Saka chance. And when I think about the game as a whole, you know, Mikel Arteta came out and faced the media immediately after the full-time whistle and started talking about the fact that we created moments and we had chances of our own. We didn't have anywhere near as many opportunities as Leeds United. There was only one team deserving of winning that game today, and it was not Arsenal Football Club. So, Mikel, I don't know if you're saying it because, you know, you're trying to just deflect. I don't know if you're saying it because you genuinely believe it. I hope you don't genuinely believe it, because if you do, there's a little bit of delusion creeping in on your part, because Arsenal was simply not creative enough yet again. And this debate comes up time and time again, and I know people are sick of it, but it will keep raging on for as long as Arsenal struggle to create chances. Why on earth is Mesut Ozil sitting at home on Twitter having exchanges and arguments with people like Piers Morgan on social media when he could be at the very least on the bench to call upon in situations like today where Arsenal cannot break a team down? Now, I know the red card played a part, I know it played a part in the system, and maybe the red card prevented Mikel Arteta throwing a little bit more at the game towards the end in terms of trying to win. I know the remit changed, the game plan changed to one of which we were looking to contain Leeds.
Come on!
Because we were down to 10 men.
Fucking assault!
But just to have that option, and
red card.
A few of you in the comments saying, Ozil is not the answer, he is the problem. Ozil, stop it, man, says Dennis. You explain to me who in this Arsenal side is a better creator than Mesut Ozil, and I will not mention the guy's name ever again. But if you're telling me that players like Joe Willock, like Reece Nelson, who came on and was a disaster as well, couldn't take a corner to save his life. If you can tell me who in that Arsenal side is more creative than Mesut Ozil, I will never mention the guy's name again. But for as long as he's an Arsenal player, for as long as he's under contract, and for as long as we are paying his wages, I will not accept that he is being left out of the team for football reasons. So if Arsenal and Mikel Arteta and everybody else want us to stop going on about Mesut Ozil, then come out and tell us what is actually going on with Mesut Ozil. Because we all used to sit here and slag off Arsene Wenger and say he doesn't tell us the truth. He's protecting the club. Arsene Wenger is taking all the shit, all the flack, and we don't get the truth. And it's his fault. It's going to be his downfall. Well, it's going to be Mikel Arteta's downfall as well if he does not start being honest with the fans. I know he wants to keep things internal, but there are certain situations that we need to explain to the stakeholders. And as fans of this massive football club, we are stakeholders. We pay our money. We deserve to know what has actually gone down there. It's as simple as that. Is he the answer to all our problems? No. It's never been my point. The point is that he's not any worse than some of the shit that is being put out on the pitch every single week. And so, you know, look, Amaya in the comments says Ozil might be the mole. If Ozil's the mole, Mikel, come out and say it, mate. Come out and say it, and we'll stop talking about it. If he did come out and say that Mesut Ozil was the mole, all the fans would back Mikel Arteta in his stance on this. But he doesn't say anything. Yet his team turns up week in, week out, and cannot create a bloody goal-scoring opportunity to save their lives. We come away from every game saying, oh, we had one or two chances today. If we took them, you know, maybe the result would have been different. One or two is not enough at the top level. I just finished watching the Liverpool game. How many opportunities did Liverpool create tonight? Tons of them. Against Leicester, who have been defensively really, really good this season. Something's not right. In fact, there's a lot of things not right at the moment. Aubameyang through the middle. It was non-existent. Lots of us called for it, including me. That was out of desperation, because what we've been doing previously with him from the left, Laka through the middle, well, that's not been working either. Understandably, people frustrated and people wanted to see him move back through the middle. And Mikel Arteta said it worked at certain points. No, it didn't. Didn't work at any point. Because I don't remember Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang having an opportunity where I thought, yeah, he should have scored that. Therefore, it didn't work. Simple as that. Let's have a look at some of Mikel's comments from the press conference. He says, yes, we have to take the point considering the circumstances. And then he praised the effort of the players. When asked about Nicolas Pepe's red card, he said, it's very clear. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. Mikel clearly not happy with what Pepe did today. Saka's injured. He was in pain. Mikel says we're going to have to now assess that with the medical staff to see how bad it is, but it looked like a pretty bad challenge and he was in pain, so we took him out straight away. As I've already touched on, he speaks about Aubameyang playing through the middle and how it worked in some moments. I didn't think it worked at all. On whether Willian's substitution was tactical, of course Willian went off at half-time, replaced by Reiss Nelson. I didn't think anyone could come on and be worse than Willian, but Reiss Nelson, well done, you managed it. Terrible performance from Reiss Nelson. Did nothing, offered nothing. Apparently Willian was feeling something muscular and had to come off. Mikel Arteta was asked whether Pepe had apologised to him and the team. And he said, I'm telling you what I think happened, but obviously inside I cannot share with you guys, but it's the way I see it. I don't think he really answered that question. He was asked on what annoyed him most tonight. He said, I'm cross because I want to win, and when I don't win I get upset. We had it really difficult for different reasons because we lost 2 players on international duty, and we had a player that came who wasn't in the condition to start. We lost 2 players to injury today and 1 through suspension, and we have an incredible amount of games coming up. So the fact we need to score more goals obviously is a concern. But I'm also really happy because I know how much this team has evolved in a lot of things. The first one was belief. We showed by playing with 10 men, and this was going well. It's a positive thing, but there are things that we need to get better at. I agree that the resilience was there, having gone down to 10 men. But you need more than just resilience to qualify for the Champions League. You need quality. And the quality just isn't there at the moment. Just really isn't there. Whenever we got the ball in defence after we went down to 10 men, it felt like we were playing aimless long balls up towards Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. That he was never going to win.
Oh, what the fuck?
Just coming straight.
How did he miss that?
On the 81st minute, we created a counter-attacking opportunity. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang cut inside
horrendous miss
that did strike the arm of the Leeds defender. And I'm not going to sit here and make a big song and dance and say that we definitely 100% should have had a penalty, because I hate seeing penalties given for that type of thing. But when you look around the Premier League this season and you look at some of the penalties that have been given, I certainly think there's a case there. And Arsenal have a case to argue.
Oh!
Almost 8 hours now.
What a peach!
For this Mikel Arteta side.
Oh, that was
Simply
lovely.
Not acceptable. Simply not good enough. We thought that our defence was the problem. Actually, it's become the complete opposite now. Why is that? That's the golden question. Is it the system? Is it the personnel? I think it's a combination. I think it is a combination of things. And it is really worrying me that Mikel is struggling to find the answer to this very big problem that we have at the moment.
Sensational.
Get your questions in the live chat, smash the like button on the video if you haven't already. I'm going to start going through some of your comments now, looking forward to seeing what you guys have to say on this game. A quick reminder as well that we'll be back tomorrow night at 9 PM UK time. I'll be joined by Adrian Clark to try and make sense of what happened at Ellen Road and why Arsenal were so blunt in attack.
Ooh!
Up so many opportunities. We'll be discussing all
Fucking hell, that was close.
And more. So subscribe to the channel if you haven't.
Banged on that.
Adrian Clark is joining me tomorrow night live at 9 PM.
Oh, God.
Make sure you're here for that
goal
one.
up would have been
one as always. Aditya says, I think this season was going to be topsy-turvy, but having a team there, 100% commitment and passion on the pitch, Isn't that all we want? And after last season, I don't see this anymore. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Mana says, how comes Bellerin is our main creator? He has been all season.
Come on! Clear foul!
Another foul throw for Hector Bellerin, and that just drives you absolutely mad. That at this level, we're talking about professional footballers unable to take a throw in without it being a foul throw. It's nothing short of embarrassing, to be quite frank. Barry Ciccone on the Pepe sending off. He says, if you get sent off for stopping a certain goal, say in a cup final or a big game, I can take it as much as I'd be upset. I could understand. But to get sent off for them actions, no. Completely agree with you, mate. It's embarrassing, to say the least. To say the very least. What else have we got here? Susan says, is it time for people to put respect on Leno's name? I thought Leno made some really good saves tonight. He did. Credit where it's due. I do think he made some really good saves. JJ says, what do you think about the 4-4-2 formation? I'm not really sure, if I'm honest. I'm not really sure that we have the players to play that. And this is the kind of problem, like, what formation actually suits our players? I don't know. And this is the conundrum that Mikel has. How does he find the right balance? How does he find the system that gets the most out of these players? We need to get the most out of Aubameyang. We need to get the most out of Partey when he's available. We need to get sort of the most out of our wingers when they play. But the problem is, for me, you know, although Aubameyang's getting a lot of stick as well, the wingers are not producing, whether it be Pepe, Willian, Nelson, whoever it is. They're not producing. Bukayo Saka had a massive opportunity to win the game for us. Around about the 85th minute, huge chance, wonderful ball from Hector Bellerin to get him in behind. Just hesitated, I think, a little bit with the finish. And Illan Meslier done really, really well. A few of you saying that we should have had the pen. As I've said, I'm not going to sort of go nuts about it. I can see why it wasn't given. Although there is an argument that we've seen lots of those this season and they have been given, and so we're well within our rights to want one. But that's not the reason we didn't perform today, I don't think. Zane says Harry will be Arteta out by Christmas. I will be there to welcome him. Look, I mean, obviously, as I said already, the responsibility of the manager is to get results and to get the maximum out of his group of players. But I still sit here looking at some of those players and think that actually, at times, or a lot of the time, Mikel is setting them up in a way by which they have the defensive structure that they need to go on and win games, but the quality isn't there, the application isn't there. And I'm not excusing Mikel Arteta from the blame, because I think, you know, he is liable for a lot of it and most of it, given that he's the manager of the football club. But it gets really, really hard to stay sensible and you know, differentiate between the faults of the players, the lack of application by the players, and then the manager's setup. And I didn't think the setup was wrong today. I said it right at the top of the programme. We asked for a number 10-ish kind of player, or a number 8, if you want to call him. That's probably more a number 8 in Joe Willett. Someone that would have that little bit of licence to get up and support the forwards. We wanted Pepe to start. We wanted the back four. We wanted Aubameyang through the middle. And we got all of those things today from Mikel Arteta. But unfortunately, the application was wrong. So where do you kind of differentiate between it being the manager's fault and the player's fault? This is kind of the difficult situation we find ourselves in at the moment. Ron Wolf says, whatever formation we play, the players, except for a few, are not good enough for the league or a big team like Arsenal. I think you're right. Rashid says, sometimes I feel there's no chemistry with this team. When we attack, we can't seem to make that key pass, apart from Bellerin. It's pass to Saka. What else have we got here? Inti Yanan says, Arteta is done. Fan base needs to come to terms with it and stop giving him passes because he won the FA Cup. What else have we got here? Sulak says Arteta is not suited to these players. His methods will never work at Arsenal. The players we have are more suited to a flair manager like Wenger or Pochettino. Zane says I won't slag off Arteta and abuse him. He needs to go for the good of the club. Steffi says why not play Balogun? What have we got to lose? When you look at the way our forwards are playing, there certainly is a shout for that. No doubt about that. See what else you guys are saying. Keep your comments coming. Keep your questions coming. Lung Burkamp says, why are you ranting now? You were happy a couple of weeks ago. Of course I was happy when Arsenal won at Old Trafford. What Arsenal fan wasn't happy? I think if you weren't happy having won at Old Trafford, then I would question how much of an Arsenal fan you are, to be honest. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Pramod says, Harry, I know how you felt about Emery. I feel the same with Arteta. I'm much closer to tapping out on Arteta. I believe he has lost the dressing room. I don't see a style of play or identity. When we talk about the sort of the dressing room dynamic at Arsenal, and we see that, and I don't want to go back to the Ozil thing again, but we see that Ozil's training with the team every day. He's clearly a popular figure.